The Bitcoin daily candle has officially closed. I mentioned that if Bitcoin is able to close above $72,000 on Thursday's candle, I would be adding to my long positions. However, we unfortunately closed at 70,800. I was scared of a situation like this where Bitcoin does a head fake, once again, gets the liquidity, and traps the long positions that are entered. So for me, I wanted to get that two daily consistent close, which did not happen. And it has resulted in the ability to redraw the bear flag so that it looks something like this. So with the new bear flag, with the new line of resistance, with Bitcoin being below the upper Bollinger Band and us not breaking through the Bollinger Band consistently, am I bullish or am I bearish? That is exactly what I want to discuss on today's video. We have a death cross which took place on Bitcoin on the 3-day time frame. I want to explore it with you guys. We will go through the weekly RSI, where we are with the RSI, and what these levels meant in prior cycles. And then we will also take a look into my daily moving averages for Bitcoin, see what's happening with the daily trend, and we'll go through some breaking news as well. So stay tuned. It's going to be a fun show. Guys, if you enjoy this content, do me a favor and please destroy the like button. We're here every single day. Sometimes at stupid AM. It is currently 5:50 AM and I wanted to capture the daily candle close because I promised you guys. So I woke myself up and here we are. If you do appreciate the effort, destroy the like. If you're looking for a place to be trading Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, you can check out the links in the description to get the best bonuses available. LiveX is where I have some public Bitcoin positions and Ethereum positions open. You can click LiveX, join, sign up, search for Crypto Kid at the top toolbar, and you will be able to see my profile as my affiliate and follow my exclusive posts and exclusive trades. All right, let's go into the daily. The daily, we have not broken above the Bollinger Band. We have not closed above the critical range resistance, which I see to be at 72. If you remove the bear flag drawing and just create a trend line that looks at the range that Bitcoin was staying within from February the 6th until about yesterday. So for 1 month, Bitcoin saw a breakout. People got excited. It was the highest level reached since February the 6th, but we've made it back down. And here's my two Satoshis on it. Look, if we are able to still consistently break above $72,000, meaning the upper Bollinger Band resistance, meaning the resistance of the trend, I will go ahead and do more long positionings. Okay. I wanted to see two daily consecutive ones. We didn't get it. If Friday's candle, I doubt it would be a weekend candle. If going into next Monday, we can see 72K broken with volume, ideally with a close in 74s, then I will add to Bitcoin long positionings for the short term. For the short term. Because if we do that, my target is going to be the bull and bear market support bands, currently sitting at 86, but it will drop down to 84 by the time we would hypothetically retest it. We have the Bitcoin CME gap at that same level. So it's a good place for Bitcoin to bounce to. And that bounce, I want to reemphasize, would, in my opinion, only come if we can break above 72 with good volume, a good break to like 74K and we close above it. That is the only instance where I expect that. If we do not do that, then bear flag it is. And I think we will continue going lower. I see that Bitcoin will go lower anyways until about September, October, or at least continue in its bearishness. Why? We look at the weekly RSI. When Bitcoin enters the oversold region, the below 30 on the RSI, let me do this so you can see it. Whenever we go into the below 30 level, RSI, this is what Bitcoin does. So let's remove RSI. Let's zoom in to Bitcoin. These were the lines, the orange lines are when we went into the oversold territories. In 2015, Bitcoin created that oversoldness. Following the creation of the oversoldness, right there, Bitcoin continued to dip, created a new low later on within that same year. and that wasn't the lowest low. And you consolidated in a bearish way for multiple months. Then we take a look at 2018. In 2018, that was the low. The RSI oversold, being oversold, was the low, but you still continued bearishly for multiple months before reversing course into the upside. In 2022, Bitcoin went oversold at around $30,000. The low was created much later, and you traded bearishly for many, many months. So here in 2026, Bitcoin went into oversold at around 73K. 60 may or may not have been the lowest point for Bitcoin. I am still a believer that there's a high probability that the low was not in, regardless of whether if it was the low or not. I think we will see bearish consolidation for some more time, and it will give you a great opportunity to accumulate as much Bitcoin in the Bitcoin bag. I'm buying Bitcoin now. I think Bitcoin is at fair value, and I'm going to say this in every video because I do not want to be mistaken. I think Bitcoin is cheap. I think Bitcoin's value is very fair. If you're considering to buy Bitcoin, I'm personally not waiting in the sidelines. I think this is a good time to buy. And I think you will have a good window of buying for a few months that lie ahead of us until about September, October. After then, I think it's going to be expensive again. So if you are considering to buy, I'm not waiting on the sidelines. We got a death cross on the 3-day time frame. The 3-day death crosses have always led to lower price levels, And I just wanted to showcase that for you, to mark that I'm not very excited, very intrigued about the short term. We're getting close to the 128 SMA. That would also potentially give us some resistance in the next few days. Not so excited. We have to break above the level set in order to continue into the bull and bear support band. But when I think of the future after September, October, again, it always looks more on the brighter end. Things are looking on the brighter end for American Bitcoin and crypto investors and future investors. Kraken got access to the Federal Reserve's direct payments processing system. This system has around 4 trillion, I've read, of volume, in sometimes daily manners. They have trillions of dollars going through their Fed processing system almost daily. This will give Kraken American users the ability to on-ramp and off-ramp fiat, bring cash to crypto, crypto to cash within the platform in a very, very easy way. The fees will be less than $1. The transactions will almost be instantaneous. This will reduce the barrier of entry into the cryptocurrency markets. It's exactly what you want to see. One of the biggest issues for crypto is the lack of ease of putting money into an exchange to buy Bitcoin and crypto and do the vice versa to sell and take profits. It creates hesitation. The retail investor thinks, hey, if I cannot get my money out easily, then why should I invest in the first place? They need to have that sense of security. So Kraken doing this partnership, being the first crypto company ever to get access directly to the Fed, is a huge milestone, and I think is a news that's underplayed majorly. We're seeing crypto be adopted and accepted in the US more and more. Even big banks cannot get access sometimes to the Fed's processing system. But here you go, Kraken was able to do it. So congrats to Kraken. I think American investors are going to have a good time using that feature. Another exchange that's on the news today is OKX. OKX's token went up 67% in 1 day's time. They have announced a strategic partnership, strategic investment from ICE markets at a $25 billion valuation, and we can start to see American futures markets be traded on OKX in a short duration of time. And when it takes place, I think for OKX it's going to be huge, and that's why the OKB token went up dramatically. We're also seeing the prices of European jet fuel reaching 4-year highs, and it's happening from the current ongoing geopolitical tensions, crude oil at $80, as crude oil goes up and up and up and up, which, given the fact that we're breaking key technical resistance, I think it will likely go into the near $100 territories. If we can remain above 78, then I think we can reach the $100 territories. Every day we sit at higher crude oil prices, the inflation, the expected inflation, will go up simultaneously. Crude oil is in everything. It is in plastic, it is in the foods that you eat, it is in the clothes that you wear. If crude oil increases, CPI data will go up. If CPI data goes to like 4%, then the chances of us getting a rate cut will be very low, even with Kevin Warsh as the head of the FOMC. Not too great. Historically, when crude oil prices go up, you can clearly see headline CPI dramatically increase. This was in 2020, 2021. Brent crude prices saw a huge recovery from the negative levels. You went from very low inflation to very high inflation. And then they had to, that was during the pandemic era, but I'm not going to refer to the interest rates there. But in traditional markets, if inflation is increasing, they will not cut the interest rates. They will either hike it or maintain it at high levels. And that's horrible for liquidity, and that's horrible for to create any expectation for Bitcoin to do something euphoric or altcoins to go parabolic. Guys, that concludes our update for today. I filmed the Gary Cardone interview last night. I think it turned out to be incredible. I will be dropping it on the weekend, so make sure you're subscribed to not miss that interview. It is life-changing. I would even say it was a very, very good interview. Thank you so much to Gary. Shout out to him for coming on the channel. Thank you guys for watching. See you all soon, and bye-bye.